Well, welcome to this episode of Check the IV. I am your host, Jewel IV, and I have a special guest on this episode we have here. This is blood. This is my cousin. Welcome to the show, Chrissy.
Thanks for having me, Buki.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. I've been trying to get her on the show for quite a long time. Actually, she was there when I was deciding to go into the podcast realm.
Mhm.
So I am excited to finally have her on the show and have her come and share her little creative pivot that she has. And it's not really a creative pivot. It's more of like I dropped it and now I'm picking it back up and I'm really running with it.
Exactly.
It's very much like a continuation. So an evolution, we're saying. Evolution. So I'm excited to have you here. And I'm just excited to talk about, the EP. The EP is on the way.
Yes. Cancer season.
It's cancer season.
Shout out.
Shout out to my cancers. Like literally, shout out to the water signs, the cardinal water signs.
Period.
Y'all are something. Y'all are something. But
yes.
I'm excited. But before we get into it, I kind of want to just touch base with you on and just share with our viewers and our listeners, where you kind of got a little bit of your start from. Like, I know that you went to the LA Film School. So you have you're a musician. So you have this, the sound background, but it wasn't fully only in music. You started doing sound design. Yes. So tell us a little bit about that and how that's different from music. I have a lot of sound design friends that do music as well. And of course they prefer music over sound design. But how was your take on sound design being a musician?
Yeah, so initially when I was touring the LA Film School, I actually wanted to go for the music production program. But my advisor at the time was like, as a woman, it's very hard to be taken seriously in the music business. So she was like, you're already a musician, so nobody can really teach you that.
Right.
You already have that naturally. So why don't you learn the technical part? She was like, basically, provide yourself with as much value as possible so that when you walk into a room, you walk into a studio session, that, no offense, the men don't think that they can walk all over you and feel like you don't know what you're talking about. Basically, it's like the same as a journalist going to law school, just giving yourself more credibility. So I just wanted to brush up on my skills. Like I had a small knowledge because you grow up in church, you sit in the back and watch the people do the little levels. For
soundboard.
The soundboard.
Yes.
I knew a little bit, just a tad. But I was like, you know what? Like, this is something that's completely unfamiliar to me. So I decided to go with the recording arts realm. And I learned a lot, honestly, like a lot of audio post-production for film and music.
Yeah.
Obviously, my focus is music, but if you ever need somebody,
I always,
you got me.
I'm always looking for people to, edit sound and edit stuff for music.
I can be on my Hans Zimmer shit.
We love Hans Zimmer. Shout out to Hans Zimmer. But I think it's, I think that's great. No, I love that you're diverse in both. Like you still have like a passion, but you have a passion for movies. I know that personally.
Yeah.
Like you love movies. So do critique movies down and you do, you critique everything, not just the sound, but also the visuals and the soundtrack and all these things. So you're very diverse in that and splitting that up within sound design versus music. So I love that. I love that. So tell me about your first single. You have, I know about it. It's actually one of my personal favorite songs. But before we really get into the first single and into the album and everything, but tell us your direction on music, how you got your start in the sense of like wanting to record and produce your own music, and how Be My Boo, your single, came about. Yeah.
So during my time at the LA Film School, that was like when I really started to record. I think I was about like 18 or 19.
Mhm.
And they like once you got to a certain level within like completing your program, you had like 24-hour access to the studios.
Wow.
And it's like state of the art shit.
Yeah.
So I'm in there like first time, like, hold on, like I can do this. Like, I can really do this. And that's when I really started playing around like with my sounds. I started off doing like covers on like SoundCloud and just uploading a couple of mixtapes on there. Check me out if you want to see some of my earlier work.
First plug. First plug.
And then I ended up taking a little bit of a hiatus from music. But while I was on that hiatus, I was just writing a shit ton of fucking music.
Yeah.
Like I probably could publish an anthology of all the music that I wrote, just like within from the age of like 18 to like 23, I would say. So Be My Boo, I actually wrote that when I was about like 22, 23.
Okay.
And I had the melody and I had everything that I wanted to sound like, but I just didn't have an instrumental.
Yeah.
And you know, like as a creative person, you might have those sessions where you might smoke, put on some YouTube, start writing to some beats, and I said, "Hold on,
tight beat." Shout out to my tight beat writers.
Said, wait a minute, this beat, like, hold on, I can hear the Be My Boo.
Yeah,
like I can hear it on this beat.
I love that song. Like it's a bob.
And I think it's like one of those tracks where I was like, okay, I want to showcase my ability to like do melodies, but also my ability to sing fast.
Right.
Which might sound weird, but some people can't sing fast. Like they might be able to like rap sing fast, but not actually like hold a tune, you know?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, Drake is very successful off of that. Multiple artists
rapping, singing.
Like, it's just about having that melody. But for me personally, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to sing fast, like Beyonce. So
like Beyonce. Everybody went like Beyonce.
And yeah, that was like kind of my first little test trial run. And like the beat is like very smooth, but it's very hard hitting. And it kind of has like a commercial sound to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that could be like, if I were to be big, like this could be like my radio hit.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're gonna go to the archives and be like, wait a minute, hold on, this low key doing something.
No, for real. Like, I've listened to that song multiple times, not just because I am Chrissy's manager, currently acting as. But in just understanding your song, but I actually like listen to that like it's on my playlist. It's actually on one of my playlists.
Okay, come on, support.
Yes, go listen to my playlist, Jewel IV on Apple Music. But but I like that. I think it really does resonate, and I mean we're gonna talk more about your evolution in your music, but it really does kind of set the tone for kind of like where you are now. And you mentioned that you were going, or you had a hiatus. You know, what happened in that hiatus in the time that, was it distracting you from music, or were you just not, you were writing, as you said, but you were kind of like, what was stopping you from getting over those, from going to the studio and dropping music, like, or staying consistent with it? Because the break between then and now is long.
Yeah. So pretty much after I graduated from the LA Film School, I ended up moving back to Indiana. I'm from Indianapolis, y'all. So I moved back to Indy because I was just so like scared. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of had like a minor existential crisis once I graduated.
Oh no.
Because I'm like, okay, like I'm only 19, 20 years old. Like, what do I do now?
Right.
And I was just the overwhelming fear, I think, took over. So I just felt like, okay, like this is my first degree. You need a backup plan. And that's just how my brain works. I know that doesn't work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are plan A type people. Me, I'm not. And I can own up to that. And so I had a free scholarship to go to any college in Indiana. So I ended up going to Ball State. Shout out David Letterman. And getting a degree in organizational communication and marketing.
Wow.
So I did that.
That's the creative pivot right there. Yeah.
And that came with a lot of, what's the term where you drastically switch environments?
Like culture shock.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Culture shock.
Extreme culture shock. Like moving from LA back to Indiana, Muncie, Indiana at that, where I felt like I experienced so much life just being out here for...
I've never heard of that place. Never. Don't know her.
Yeah. It's in the boonies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little depression kicked in. But my ass was writing, so I'm grateful for it.
Okay.
So yeah, that pretty much explains my hiatus. And then obviously, like, towards the end of my time of completing that degree, the fucking pandemic happened. So I mean, that's self-explanatory.
And that was just a
exactly.
We're here.
And it brought me here.
And it brought you back.
Yes, it brought me back. I said, fuck this shit. I can't be depressed. Like, I'm miserable. Move back here. And that's really when I started to get back into music.
Okay. Yeah. And by that time, because we are distant cousins. We're in the same family, different branches on different sides.
Yeah.
So it's cool because we've stayed in touch over the years. And when I finally moved here, it's like kind of like we popped everything off. And it was crazy because I had just started music, or my musical journey, or preempting that with the Exposed Back to Black album and starting, Ivy Sound and the label, and then meeting you and saying, and you were I already knew about your music. I follow your music page and everything. So I kind of knew like you were on that type of wave. So it's like when I started making music, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to like talk to Chrissy about music. like I know she makes music and stuff like that. But like you have a process when you make music, and you have a way of working. So like I remember that you kind of worked in my process, or like influenced my process in working and in writing music, because I don't know, you give me critique. You give me critique on stuff. But tell us about your process. Tell us about, well, one, you're getting back into music now, coming back to LA post-pandemic. Where are you now? Where are you in the headspace of music? What are you into? What are you seeking? And what were you hearing?
So during this time when I was like getting my feet wet and just trying to dib and dabble my way back into it, I really just wanted to find my love for making music again. Like there was this overwhelming sense of like anxiety of just getting myself back in there. It's like a player that's been injured and then their first game back.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a lot of hesitation and antsiness and like feeling that you're not good enough. And you know what? Social media can ruin a lot of shit, but just focus on yourself. Agreed. And that's what I had to do. I was like, okay, girl, like focus on yourself. The music is never going to go anywhere. Like you can always put out music. Focus on what you want to do. And so to eliminate that anxiety, I was like, okay, like I need to take that pressure off of myself. Just fucking have fun with it. Like
just have fun.
Literally, just fucking have fun.
Just fucking have fun.
Yes.
And that sparked it. That sparked it for you. And speaking of just having fun, so your process on this, in the sense of when you got back into creating music and getting things back into the swing of things, creatively for you, what came out of it? Like what happened? What sounds were you listening to? Were you inspired by certain people, certain artists, certain themes? Like what were you headed to, and what kind of emerged out of that?
Yeah, so like towards I'd say my last 2 years of college, I was extremely into like the underground cloud rap movement
Okay.
that was going on, like the plug type of sound. I know
Yeah.
that's like super popular in Atlanta.
Like plug.
Yeah, plug.
Plug. That's my stuff.
I grew up in like the Lil B era, and like apparently he's considered like one of the forefathers of cloud rap.
Okay.
Which makes sense because he had like Clams Casino and like the Clams Casino and ASAP collabs that were happening. But then also you get In Abundance by Playboi Carti, which I was there during that SoundCloud era. I was there. Y'all may not have been there, but I was there.
Maybe I'm a little late. I like Playboi Carti.
And like, I'm not sure if you are familiar with Awful Records with like Ethereal. It was like Ethereal, Playboi Carti.
Abra. I love Abra. I like Ethereal too. Wait, yes. There's another girl in that section.
I don't know.
But yeah.
It's just like that whole sound with like those type of like ethereal instrumentals, but you have someone like Playboi Carti that's like rapping some hard ass shit. And it's like a paradox. It's like, okay, you have this silky smooth beat, but then you have this dude like rapping.
That's rapping like chaotically.
Yeah, chaotically. And I just thought that was like the coolest shit. But then I was like, okay, what if we could add some vocals onto those beats? Because the beats are still hard. Like they're still thumping in the club. Like it's getting radio play.
Right.
And it's still popping underground.
But it's not a well-known genre. No. Like cloud rap is not something that you could go look on iTunes or a Spotify and be like, this is cloud
You could
rap.
probably find like a playlist with just like a conglomerate of different artists. A lot of these artists are still underground, for sure. But I would say that it's still like a relatively new subgenre of like lo-fi, hip-hop, trip-hop.
Okay, lo-fi, trip-hop, hip-hop. Yeah. Okay, trap. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And I think those are just a couple of artists that I could think of off the top of my mind. But one artist that truly stood out, his name is Boofpack Mookie from North Carolina.
Boofpack Mookie, period. Okay.
And he works with a couple of producers, some named Young Brando. I can't think of the other ones right now, but I just remember hearing his music and I was like, this shit is like hard as fuck. And I played it for my dad and he was like, who the fuck made those beats? He was like, this shit is hard. He was like, it's like hard and like you feel like it's like trap, but at the same time it's like chill, but you want to get lit, but you want to like smoke to it, drink to it.
It's a lot of layers.
It's a lot of layers
here.
It's a lot of fucking layers.
Okay.
But you still have that musicality, like that subtle musicality to it, even when it comes to like certain chords or synthesizers, shit that you can feel in your fucking chakras.
So it has an emotional connection.
It's like kind of like neo soul. You know how neo soul has like the certain sound where it's like the certain chord. It's like, ooh, like you making them faces like, ooh, who
like,
fuck did that?
Who did that? Yeah, it's nasty.
Yes.
Yeah, that's real nasty.
That's how I perceive it. And basically I wanted to like take that sound and also I'm a huge hip hop head. I'm a huge alternative fan.
Right.
And obviously R&B. And I feel like cloud rap. And then when you transfer that over to cloud soul, which is a term that I would like to coin.
Okay.
I feel like it makes perfect sense.
Cloud soul.
Yes.
Now, is that the genre that you say your music basically fits into?
I would say that my music would definitely encapsulate cloud soul for sure.
I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, I kind of know that already, but I like the idea that it's a subgenre of like it's an extension of a subgenre.
Yeah, it can be
Yeah.
so many things. Like it can even go down to like slight house, or like if you get into like a Chicago dub or Detroit house sound.
Yeah,
like,
so it has infusions
Yeah.
of different sounds and from different areas. No, I like that. That was
Yeah.
dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So you have all these inspirations and things like that, and what came out of those influences, and you taking those and experiencing and listening to those different sounds in different artists within the cloud rap era or the cloud rap scene, you know, what came out of it?
I mean, I have an entire catalog of music sitting on my damn iPhone.
Oh.
As you've heard a lot of it.
I do.
And
I know.
I think as an artist, it can be hard to kind of like organize everything.
Right.
But I think my initial thought was, okay, the shit that you strictly made for fun, like take that shit and like create it.
Hey, it's Andre, head of talent at The Aspect and The Aspect Social and Culture. Enjoying the episode? We've got a variety of unique shows and perspectives ready for you to explore. So be sure to subscribe. Continue your episode, and thanks for watching.
EP or like something with it, because it's all within the same theme.
Right.
So that was why I had the idea to create the EP just for fun, coming out next week.
Well, actually, yeah, it is coming out next week.
Yes.
Well, when this airs, it will be. So it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow.
I'm living in the fucking future.
You're living in the fucking. You're Christiana. Feel in the future. No, but it is coming out tomorrow. So it's not next week. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Scratch that. Tomorrow. When y'all edit this, tomorrow. So yes, but tell us a little bit about. I mean, I know I've listened to all the tracks on the album or on the mixtape. It's officially titled a mixtape, and I remember us going back and forth on that and saying like, you know, are we labeling it as an EP? Are we labeling it as a mixtape? And you felt that you changed it towards the last bit of it, like in saying, well, I feel it's better. It's just better to release a mixtape, and going that route before you embark on something like an EP or an LP. I want to ask you in the sense of like just not just why you made that decision. I know why you made that decision, but we've seen artists release mixtapes before they go into embarking like EPs and LPs and shit deluxe albums and any type of other hierarchy in the sense of, you know, dropping music. So how do you feel about artists kind of like with mixtapes, and what separates a mixtape from like an EP or any type of album, even though they may have the same track or, you know, same track length or, you know, song length? Why do you consider this a mixtape versus an EP? A lot of artists have gone out and dropped EPs, but why do you consider it? I think the main reason is because a lot of these songs I've recorded over the span of like a couple of years. And during those years, I was like hitting the ground running and just like getting back into music.
Yeah.
I didn't really necessarily have like a plan or anything. I was just strictly recording and seeing what I was coming up with.
Right.
So that's pretty much my reasoning for having a mixtape. Also, I think it's important to artist development and growth, because I feel like when you have that mixtape, it can be very dear to you and like what you use to establish that like beginning of your core fan base.
Right.
And like we always talk about, like just releasing any type of art form is like, you feel like you're in a very vulnerable position. And I feel like that extremely, because this is my first like baby coming back into this. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is just going to be my mixtape. Maybe the next project will be an extended play or a full length.
Okay.
Not sure what direction we're going to go with yet, but coming soon. I think that Just for Fun serves best as a mixtape because it's not necessarily my full sound
Yes.
of what I want to do, but it hints at it a little bit. And I think that's what's great about mixtapes. You can have fun with it, play around.
Yeah.
And whatever pocket you want to go with, you can continue that with your other projects.
I love it. No, I love it. I love that. Actually, as I said before, you have inspired me once again on what's the best way. And I think, you know, when it comes to releasing, it's all dependent on the artist and what the demand of the artist is, you know, kind of. But it's also the comfortability. And you said the comfortability, like when you are releasing any type of art form, you're vulnerable. It's your baby. So you have to kind of be cautious of how you want to release it and how you feel best releasing it. And I think that's very important for not just music. I struggled with it with film as well. But I'm also with it for music. As you know, I've been sitting on music for a little bit myself.
Oh, wow.
And you know, the roles are about to switch. We'll see. But I'm excited. So let's go through just a little bit of the track list. So just a tad bit since we're going. So I kind of know it by heart a little bit. Kind of.
Which one?
I'm going to try to guess. So track 1 is What I Like.
Yeah. You do like that one.
That, okay, What I Like is my favorite. It's actually, okay, so story of why I like What I Like. I had heard another song. I don't know. I think you had shown me another song that's not on this project. It's on a later project or something.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yes. And you played this one afterward. This is one of the first songs I've heard from Christiana, like ever. Like outside of Be My Boo. You know, like so I was just like, hold on, like it's like tell you about it. Tell you how to like it's a vibe. Like in the intro is what gets me. Because I was like, it's a real nice build into the song. And then you just smack us out of nowhere with the boom, boom, boom. Like it
wait. Are you thinking of My
Oh,
Way?
actually, I was thinking of My Way. Oh my gosh, that's my song. Wait, I like My Way. That's what I like. That's I mean, see, look, it's My Way, What I Like. That's the track listing. It's crazy because it's What I Like right after that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about My Way. See, I'm over here confusing everything.
Yeah, that's my way.
No, that's My Way. Yeah. See, look, I'm horrible manager. Don't hire me. But yes, My Way is my jump.
Yeah, that's my shit too.
Tell me a little bit about your inspiration for My Way. In the sense of, I'm gonna say just in the sense of writing, like the beat speaks for itself.
So in a sense of writing, honestly, I was like, I want some fly ass, like smooth ass shit. And I came on there and I was like, hey, I'm gripping your body. Yeah. And I was like, hold on. That's a vibe. What can I go with that? And so I just went from the direction of making it like a fun, cute song that like women would love. Yeah. But also men would be like, hold on, like I'm gonna play this in the car when I got shorty with me, you know? Right. And the main inspiration for that song was definitely Saw Baby. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Saw Baby. I actually have a Saw Baby beat. I have a Saw Baby beat. Yeah. And
like just the way that he's able to create melodies, but like also fit so many words into like what he's trying to say.
It's like, yes. Like it's like they crumbling all in the cake. Like, yeah.
I was like, I want to do that, but I want to sing it, and I want to make it sound cool and like sexy and like free. Like I want it to sound like you speeding down the highway.
It is. It gives like I need to be in like a real fast car.
Yes.
And like
I need to get to my boo.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes. Period. It's giving highway. It's giving highway. Okay, so then we have What I Like. I also do like What I Like. What I Like is actually the first song that I heard for this project. That was like you had presented outside of Please Don't, which is the following track with you and Asia. Yeah. I love that song. That's actually the first single that you dropped from the project. And you didn't even announce the project when you dropped it. It was just more of like, you're just like, let's just throw it out there. Like, and we had created a cute visual for it. And I I love it. I love it. So tell us about and then after that we have Please Don't, and then we have Play.
Yes, my favorite.
Play. Now play.
Play.
Okay.
Okay, for real.
Now,
that's my shit.
do I want to ask about the inspiration for this song? Now, because I was like, I remember you were, I don't even remember you writing it. It was like you just went into this. I remember you just going to the studio. It wasn't like, oh, I have this new song. It was just like, this is the new song. So they're gonna listen to it, of course. They're gonna listen to it. Y'all are going to stream and purchase and buy and support. But tell us a little bit about Miss Play.
So Play is one of those songs where I was like, I need to record the shit before I forget the melody, because this melody is so goddamn good that it needs to be done today.
Or else you're gonna forget it.
Literally, like to the point where I still have the voice memo on my phone, like recording how I wanted to sing it and like the different keys. But in terms of the process for that song, I'm like, okay, I want to make a song where people were like, okay, I'm about to smoke some, like throw on Play, throw that shit on. And so, that was pretty much, okay, what do I like to do? Like my process of smoking. I love breaking down the blunt is like therapeutic. I don't know why. It just is. So you might hear a bar about it in there.
Okay.
Somehow.
Okay.
But you want to smoke with your boo when you get home from a long day of work.
It's a vibe. It's giving adults only.
It's giving adults only.
It's very much adults only.
But it's like sexy discreet. Like
it's sexy seductive.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it's giving
It's giving that.
It's giving Yeah. Okay, so after we have Miss Play, we go into Miss Nasty.
Is it Miss Nasty?
Is it Miss Nasty?
I think Get To It is last.
I think Get To It is last, but I think we come into it Miss Nasty. Miss Nasty, I think from how you talk about Miss Nasty, I think Miss Nasty, I will vouch and say Miss Nasty is probably her favorite song. And I ain't talking to Nashe. I love Miss Nashe Nasty, but we talking about Miss Chrissy Nasty. So, tell us a little bit of. I remember you actually writing this song. I remember you writing this song very, very much. This is one of our favorite. We both use this producer.
Yeah.
And like I have 2 songs by this producer. Shout out to Wave Time. Great producer. You roll with this one.
Yeah. You know what? I love this fucking song because I feel like it really encapsulates the plug and B sound.
Yeah, it gives that. Yeah, it gives that.
I love that shit. And I was just like, I want to be on some like If Young Nudie Could Sing.
Yeah.
Type shit.
It gives it gives Young Nudie like, I don't know, and also like I don't know, it connects.
Nasty with this shit. Hey,
you wanna get real nasty.
It's like a very fun song. Like
it's fun.
I love that shit. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I had the most fun recording that song.
You seem like
it was lit.
Yes,
that recording session was very lit. Like I could barely take myself serious.
It was fun. It was a fun.
This is what it's about. Just having fun.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was like, I've never heard anything like this. The way that I was like rapping and like singing a little bit.
I've never heard a song like that. It almost gives like, it's so playful. It's very playful. I love it. And then we have, this is one of my favorite songs. The last 2 songs are my favorite. I'm biased because I helped. I'll spring a little something on there. Just a little IV on the track. But we get to it. Yeah. I was actually there when you wrote this song. We wrote it on your couch actually in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I definitely remember. I was like, I said, do you like this? I remember I found this beat, and I was like, "Do you like this beat?" And you're like, "Oh, you really do like this beat." And but I sent it to you like a couple of days prior to, and then like us just sitting on your couch, just going through it, and you're like, you were working on it. And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, that's just one of those beats where it's like, oof, that shit is just so nasty. Like, I love that instrumental so much.
Yeah.
It does something to me. And typically with those type of beats, it's easy for me to get a melody very quickly. And I always go with the first melody. Like, I know Tinashe speaks on that a little bit, but that's just true.
No,
the
it
first
is very
thing
true.
you hear, go with that shit.
Go with that shit.
Go with
it. Go with it. No, for real. Like, I've pretty much, every time I try to flip the melody, I always revert back to the first one. It's hard to break that distinction.
It's just like what comes naturally to you, like when your ears first touched it.
And it could be a hit or miss.
Yeah.
I also dictate my first melody depending on how well the song is going to be and how much I'm going to enjoy it. But sometimes it tricks me. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like, and then hold on. Like, I have a song called Brand New. I didn't like that melody at first.
Yes.
And then I slid.
What we talk about all the time is like finding those pockets.
Yes.
And
you tell me that all the time. You tell me that all the time.
With Get To It, I was just in like a certain pocket where I was like, this is very like comfortable, but I just feel like I'm stamping my sound in a sense.
It's more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like one of, if not the most intimate song, like outside of Play, like in a sense, but like you have like, it's like you're in love. Like it's giving like you have this passion and like you're talking about an item or someone. Like it's like you're very much in love. So I love that mix in that the fun, because like everything up front is like, woo, let's get drunk, let's get fun, let's party. Like it's giving fun. It's giving a beat. And then you go from Get To It, which is like really cute. It's like, oh, I want to get to it. Yeah. Like it's really cute. And then we go into Shake Some. And you end with this banger. Like Shake Something is the banger.
It's a banger.
It's
for
a banger.
Sure. I felt like if we're gonna make a fun mixtape, like we gotta have a banger.
You did. You ended with, this was the last song you recorded,
and we were adamant on this. I'm like, we need a twerk anthem.
She was adamant on this. She was very like saying, I need a twerk song. She found this beat. She loved this beat. She was debating. I remember you debating specifically on this line. Should I buy this beat? Should I buy this beat? Should I get this beat? Should I get this beat? I like it a lot. I'm gonna get it. And then she got it. And then I was just like, well, let's do it. And then I remember us recording this in the studio. I'm actually shake some. When you hear that's me. Just because we needed to add some like variety into it. And it turned out amazing. It's actually in my top 5, or well, there's only 7, but it's in my top 3 of top songs in it. So definitely, I love that. I love it. So tell us how you feel about Shake Something. Is that something that's gonna be single potential? Is it gonna be something that? What are you gonna do with that? I think you should do something with that one. It's a summer song.
Yes, it very much so is a summer song. I kind of wanted it to be like that surprise track where like it's definitely unexpected. It's like not necessarily thrown in there because it's very intentional, but it's like, oh, you get to it, you're like, hold on, wait a minute, I might start shaking something for real. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted it to have that surprise like factor and element to it. Like we said, like I really want to have a twerk anthem because it's like with every mixtape or hip hop, R&B, whatever mixtape you want to think of, there's always that one song that they play in a club and like motherfuckers is shaking ass.
Right. They're going at it. Like no, they're committed, involved, and I think it gives club song, includes club banger, but it's a great closing to the mixtape.
Yeah,
it's a great closing to it, and it gives full round fun. Yeah. Like you're up the entire time. Even in Play, like it's more of like, I think Play, and you've always went back and forth saying, is it more of like an interlude? But it kind of gives that break between the two halves, and it gives like this variety of what you, Christiana, consider fun, which is fun.
I think of play as like an extended bridge.
Yeah.
Because I really think it connects the first half, because I come in like and then I'm like, hold on, slow down. Let's look what we have. And then we can jump back into it.
Yeah.
So
it's a good break. It's a great break. And I'm very, very proud. I have to give you your flowers.
Oh, thank you.
This project, I know it means so much to you. Getting it out and getting it to the world, getting it to people, your supporters, your family, everyone, just so they can see. And it's a big accomplishment. So how do you feel right now that the album is submitted, the cover art is done, everything is accomplished? Like, what do you feel like? How do you feel?
That's right now I'm extremely happy, but I feel like with that sense of happiness comes a little bit of angst, because now I'm in the position where, okay, like this is going to release. What's next? Like you're gonna have to get to it, no pun intended, and like get back into that mode again.
Right.
And I think as artists, it can be hard to like get into that mode, because we've been in like the post-production mode for so fucking long.
Right.
Now.
We've been working in the post-production.
So it's just the discipline of like getting yourself back into it, like vocal training and just practicing my pen.
Yeah.
And just coming up with melodies. Like I make a habit of whenever I even come up with a melody in the shower, like I'm recording that shit. Like,
pull out the phone.
I don't care if I'm speaking gibberish. I'm recording it.
Oh,
because you never know. I might use it for later. And so now I'm in that mode of like, I'm getting my foot wet. At first I was getting my toes. Now it's the whole foot, maybe a little to the fucking shin.
Okay, we in there. You in?
I'm trying to fully immerse myself.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy, of course, but now I'm just like, okay, bitch, like
let's get it on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm like ready for it to be out, like, and to move on to the next venture.
Yes. So the album comes out tomorrow, July 5th, 2024. I'm super excited. 7-track mixtape. Starting off really the peak of this, the mid-tier of the summer. I think it's perfect. It comes on, and your birthday is technically today.
Yep, technically today.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You know.
Thank you.
But
I'm not gonna tell you my age.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Forever 21.
Forever 21. Just a little bit. Just a little razzle-dazzle. But I'm super happy. I'm super proud of you. Not just because I'm your cousin, but I've seen how much you've poured yourself into this project. And I think that's very important when creating art. I hate when people, maybe I shouldn't say hate. I dislike when creative just do the job, instead of just really putting their imprint and something into it. And I see that you take your time with your art. You like to, even though your recording process is very it's fast. She records very fast.
Yeah, I do.
Quick note. But it doesn't mean the quality is bad. It means that you just know what you want, you attack, and then everything else is fine tuning and figuring out how to roll it out and what's the best way to do it. And that's where we all come in. But it's good. Like I'm very proud to not just be on the project and help you execute it, but to actually see that you're proving to the independent artistry that it's possible. People drop music all the time, but it's not it's not guaranteed. It's hard work, getting all these things done. So it's an accomplishment for you. So cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, my love. And
I appreciate it.
Yes. You deserve it. You deserve it full hands down. But I do have to ask you, I ask every guest this that comes onto the show. One, go ahead and plug in your socials and your things. But two, what is upcoming next? And what can you leave with our audience? You know, our visionaries, our gems, our jewels out there. With a word of advice, you know, whether it's on independent artistry or whether it's on, you know, picking back up the baton and keep going. You know, what can you leave with them that can get them through whatever creative struggle they're going through?
The first thing that I initially thought of is something that my grandfather always used to tell me, and that is to let go or to be dragged.
Ooh.
And that can mean a million things to some people, but for me, I felt like until I was able to let go of like my fear and insecurities and anxiety,
Right.
it was definitely dragging me through all different types of negative emotions of just not feeling like I was enough.
You was good enough,
depression and, you know, just holding me back from like what could be. And I think once I got to the mindset of like, well, you don't know what the fuck happened, but like if you don't fucking try,
you won't know.
You won't know.
You won't know, right?
So that would be my advice to anyone out there that's like thinking about doing music, or not even just music, any type of art form. Just fucking do it. Just let go.
Literally.
Any angst you have. And
Nike.
Just do it.
Nike.
Just do it.
Shout out. Just do it.
Just completely let go and just trust yourself and stay true to yourself and stay humble and just stay centered and balanced.
Yeah.
My ats, Christiana. Instagram. You can probably find me on Facebook as well. Working on the Twitter. I need to fine tune that. So y'all gonna have to wait for that one.
Right. But that's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much, my love, for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am so happy that you came on finally.
And thank you for staying on my ass, because I definitely need it, y'all. He makes sure I get my shit together. And I need that at all times.
That makes me feel good, because I be trying to juggle my shit too and everybody else's shit. But I'm glad to do it. You know, I always tell you I don't sign up for shit that I don't believe in. And, you know, I believe in you and in what the capability of what you can do. So,
thank you.
You know, you're here. You're here, babe. You're here. So thank you so much for coming on to the show. And I would love to shout out my parent company, The Aspect Co. And thank you, Sean, my boss. He doesn't like when I say that, but thank you. And please follow, like, and subscribe to all of the Aspect channels, The Aspect Co. and The Aspect Social and Culture. And you can find all of our links below. And yes, we need more subscribers.
Period.
Like,
subscribe.
You know, y'all watching. I see the views. I see the views going up. I see them. I see y'all. But yeah. Until next time, like always, check the IV.